Hello, guys, and welcome to Cal's Gaming Corner podcast, episode 3. Today, we're going to be talking about one of the best series that I've ever played and my guests have ever played, is the Uncharted series starring Nathan Drake, who, as the story says, is a descendant of the legendary Sir Francis Drake. Today, my guests are Ant,
Hello.
our true Viking Luke,
Hello.
and the ever lovely but crazy Beth.
Hi.
Right, so, hello guys, how are you? How you doing?
I'm doing alright.
Yeah, pretty good. Nice.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
That's fantastic to hear. So, let's jump straight into it. So, for those who don't know, which I'd be surprised considering, Uncharted is an American adventure action game series created by Amy Hennig, who I used to call Amy Henning. Why, I don't know. It's just natural to put an ing at the end, but I'm terrible with names, clearly. Anyway, and developed by Naughty Dog and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment for the PlayStation consoles, basically PlayStation 3 at the time, before it got ported to PS4 as the remasters. The main series of games follows Nathan Drake, a treasure hunter who travels across the world to uncover various historical mysteries. Ooh, mystery. The main series began with Uncharted Drake's Fortune, which is going to be our starting point, and this game, believe it or not, was released on the PlayStation 3 in 2007, so we are going back quite literally 14 years.
God.
Make
So-
me feel old.
Oh,
Oh,
everybody's going to
man.
feel old.
Nah.
Not me,
So-
I'm young.
Yeah,
okay,
you're young.
okay,
Rub it
smarty
in.
pants. Well, saying that, let's start with Ant. Ant, how did you discover Uncharted, and what was your first game?
My first game was the Uncharted Drake's Fortune. Most of my early gaming, my introduction to gaming, came from watching games that my older brother would play. But this one was actually my younger brother was the first one to play the Uncharted games because we were all huge Metal Gear Solid fans, and so we bought a PlayStation 3 so we could play Metal Gear Solid 4. And then from that, he one day bought Uncharted, and I was just kind of sat in watching, and it was just kind of spectacular storytelling at its finest, and I've been a fan ever since.
That's fantastic. Most stories seem to always start with, oh, it was a sibling, it was a brother, it was a friend, so it's fantastic to hear. Right, Luke, same question to you.
Well, I actually started with the fourth one. I know, blasphemy.
Shock, horror.
But eventually I loved it so much that I just went back and played the entire trilogy, back to back. So that was a fun time. I had
Well-
nothing else to do at the time, so I just decided to play all three of them. Loved them. Only thing I noticed was they're hard. Like-
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They're difficult as shit, especially when you use the aim assist. Those games do not have aim assist. So I died a lot.
I can remember some very difficult points in those games. The jet
Oh,
ski and the,
God.
and the
Don't-
dock.
No,
Oh.
not the
Don't
jet skis.
speak
Yeah.
of the jet ski.
So that doesn't come as a surprise at all. That it was grim at times.
Yes, we all know that Nolan North himself got trouble with those jet skis, so you're not on
Damn
your
jet
own.
skis.
Saying that though, Beth, what was how did you get into Uncharted? Like, let us know.
Like Luke, I went for the fourth one first, only because I couldn't find the first three. But I think I found the series as a whole from watching the interview. That was that was the one that was outside of the castle.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
the one
from,
about scaling
Yeah,
scaling like a gibbon or something.
yeah. I came from it from that, and I just remember being like, "Oh, this game looks pretty cool." Obviously, played it, and well, we're here now, aren't we? I think,
And
yeah,
you've been shimmying like a gibbon ever since.
absolutely. I think I started gaming when I was really young. I was into all mainly like the shooting games and the Half-Life games, just things like that. I would always play them. I was always a fan of those games because they were just fun. Because nothing
No,
says a
that's
good afternoon just like shooting zombies and aliens.
Very
true.
true.
True. Yeah. So, I just love that. You got the OG here who played from the start, and then you've got everybody else that's just like, I just started from 4 and went backwards.
I get it. I'm old.
Yes, you're
Where's
an
your
old man.
walking
You need.
stick?
I could
Where's your
still.
Zimmer frame?
I've been gaming since PlayStation didn't have adjacent numbers. It was just Sony PlayStation.
Oh,
I could go far back as the Sega Mega Drive for
oh
what
my
I
god.
remember playing on. But moving on. So we know Uncharted is a fantastic series. What did you think of Nathan Drake's character, Beth? What was it that drew you to actually like this character at all?
Uh, Probably the fact that he wasn't perfect. He wasn't like, well, the game makes him out to be handsome, depending on what number in the series it is. But it made out to be the fact that he wasn't perfect. He didn't nail every landing. He wasn't always perfect with the gunshots. It was just like this guy that was just like, oh, let's go hunt for this because I know of the tales for this. Nothing was ever perfect for him.
I like how you say he rarely stuck the landing because he doesn't just not
He
stick the
breaks
landing.
everything.
He breaks everything he comes across.
He breaks everything.
He
Not
breaks,
sticking the landing is putting it mildly.
he breaks
I
the
had to put
things
him
he's
on, it's
looking
YouTube.
for.
That too, yes.
He's literally a cat next to a glass on a table.
He's like, don't touch that. No,
I'm
no.
Don't
touch it.
Don't touch it.
Poke.
Whoops.
Yeah, Luke, what was your feelings on Drake? Was Nate Drake everything? What was your
Well,
feelings on him?
for me, it's very meta because I was already a huge fan of Nolan North before I started playing Uncharted. So I kind of just saw him as Nolan doing all that stuff. And I don't know why, but that just happened. And I don't know, I guess it's what I really like about Nathan Drake, besides him as a character, is just the extreme immersion in the performance. I think Nolan North does a hell of a job portraying him. But as a
Mhm.
character, he just reminds me of all the classic handsome rogues like Indiana Jones and stuff. And I don't know, I like that sassy, witty, never taking things seriously attitude. So I guess that's the most appealing for me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, speaking of Indiana Jones, I'm sure everybody's seen the video of Harrison Ford playing the first or the second game, and he
Yeah.
really enjoyed it. It just seems so bizarre to just see
It
this
is.
grumpy old man just like really enjoy a game.
Yeah.
So, Anne, same question over to you. What was your appeal to the character?
Well, I'm basically going to just cheat and steal what the other two have said, but it's there's something to be said about characters that are just fun. You know what I mean? Nathan Drake is a fun character. He's good looking, charming, and suave, and he's always got a witty one-liner stored away. He doesn't. He has pratfalls, but he always bounces back. He's a fun character.
Agreed.
Mhm.
Agreed. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you know, I think in this day and age, there's still a lot to be said about a character that you just enjoy. You know, the stories in those games, all of them are fantastic. But I'd watch Nathan Drake, fold his laundry. He's just a fun character to be around.
Yeah, that
Exactly. Yeah.
he's relatable.
Mhm. Except we can't kind of go treasure hunting
Well,
as much
no,
as we'd want to.
but like I like to think that if we were put in the same situations, we'd react similarly. Because let's face it, Nathan is most of the time when he's on adventure, he's flying by the seat of his pants.
Yeah, that's
And
that's accurate.
I feel
That's
like
very
that,
accurate.
like I like that he's not always in control. And I feel like most of us would be the same in such situations, so it's relatable.
There's something
Even
very Jack Sparrow about him, isn't there? Where it's
Yeah,
just like
Yeah.
you
very
can't
much
really
so.
tell if he's thought things through or if he's just making it up as he goes along. And the kind of there's a kind of beauty in the not knowing where it looks like he has no idea what he's doing, but it always seems to work out.
Yeah, he has
Yeah.
part of a plan and he just goes with it.
No, I gotta agree with that. Saying that, slightly divulging. For those who don't know, Uncharted did have a 6-issue comic series done by DC Comics, which was a game set after Golden Abyss, which, if anybody hasn't played that, it is a good game, and also set before Uncharted 1. So you get basically 3 characters out of the cast. You've just literally got Chloe Fraser, Nathan Drake, and good old Sully. And honestly, it actually details where he first met Chloe, and it was a very fun read. And there's literally the intro of like he's working with Flynn, because Flynn briefly appears, and then he's there no more, and he just literally figures, oh, I'll shoot this explosive barrel to get rid of this flamethrower, and he's just there sitting. He's just running around thinking, I'm surprised that even worked. So I think the character's fun in that way, where it's literally just, I don't know how it worked, but I'm gonna roll with it.
Yeah, that could be
Yeah, that
Nate's,
sounds like me.
Nate's life motto. Like, I don't know how that worked, but I'll take it.
Yep.
I don't know
Pretty
what I'm
much.
doing, but I know that I'm doing it excellently.
Exactly.
How can this go wrong?
Famous last words.
Yep.
Exactly.
Exactly.
But yeah, amazingly, obviously after that, nobody was expecting Uncharted to be a hit, but then you had Uncharted 2 Among Thieves come, which is, I gotta say, has one of the best openings.
Oh god.
It's
to
even
the
J.J.
game.
Abrams approved, so.
It's my favorite out of the
Oh my God.
franchise.
Out of the 4, yeah. That
Yeah.
opening was tense as all hell.
It
Yeah.
does spectacle on a level that is very hard to top. In a kind of ground, it's just on the edge of being unbelievable, but at the same time, like you can imagine a train dangling off a cliff. You can imagine, oh god, so much happens in that game.
Yeah.
But it's just it does I think it's the best for spectacle.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
the thing about Among Thieves is, despite so much happening in that game, it's expertly paced.
Absolutely.
I was
Yep.
at no moment in that game was I bored. I just wanted to keep playing and playing and playing, and eventually I just finished it. But it felt like no time had passed. It's amazing how well that game just flows.
I enjoy the kind of the narrative spectacle in that, like you finding the submarine in the jungle. It's a very kind of like bizarre moment, and I think that the story does those moments incredibly well.
But isn't that the first one?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, you were talking about the series as a whole. Never mind.
Yeah.
I was thinking you were still on Among Thieves.
No, I am a muddled man, but I know those ones apart.
But yeah, I think that's what Uncharted has always been good at. Is it's sort of like, it's always got that movie aspect to it, where Uncharted 1, you're literally getting introduced to this character with a quote from Sir Francis Drake, and then on the boat with a camera, and then a coffin, and then you're like, oh, what's going on from here? And then pirates show up. Then Uncharted 2, you literally open up to Nathan Drake injured, sitting on a train that's dangling off a cliff, and it's like, how did we get here? And I just love the game literally telling you the lead up on how you got there in the first place.
It's almost like a previously on. With that
Pretty
one.
much.
Previously
yeah.
on Uncharted. Yeah, and then Uncharted Drake's Deception, that was fun to just open up to as well.
Basically just a bar brawl.
Oh yeah, you're just like,
Good
oh
times.
yeah, what, you're
Typical
getting rid of
London.
your ring? Getting rid of your ring? Oh, punch up somebody in a British pub, and there's like bald clones coming out of nowhere.
Oh yeah, that was weird.
So many bald British men.
They hired a type,
This is London, man. There's a lot of them. At least it got that part right.
I like to think that company would go under if they had to look at their hiring practices.
Yeah.
Probably.
You don't have a diverse workforce. They're all the same bald man.
This is why we're losing money.
This is why we don't have any mortgage anymore, Karen.
many bald men? There must be a change.
Well, yeah, and then we got to Uncharted 4, which, oh man, Uncharted 4 was such a love letter. Like,
Yeah. With
What was
that,
the intro? What was the intro to that game again?
Prison, wasn't it?
was it? No, I
oh
think
yeah,
it was,
you're in.
Yeah, you're in prison. You're
Was
a little
wasn't
bit
prison?
younger.
Wasn't it just bumming around with Nathan Drake in his like normal day-to-day life now that he's retired? Wasn't that the opening?
Oh yeah, wait. Prison was the second mission, I think.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
you literally
Yeah.
open with a retired Nathan Drake who's kind of at loss with himself.
Oh yeah, right.
And then you
And
get to prison bit.
Yeah.
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 And just think, Uncharted 4: A Thief's End came out in 2016, so that game is a good 5 years old as well.
It
What
still holds
the-
up as well. It still holds up as well.
Old.
And then, amazingly, after that, a prequel, Uncharted Golden Abyss, which I haven't fully played, so I wouldn't know. That came out in 2011.
God.
So, that
My
came out literally
God.
around the same time as Uncharted 3.
I'm so desperate to play those
Wow.
games, but I haven't been able to get a hold of a PS Vita.
No, me neither.
I don't think you ever will.
Yeah, it doesn't seem likely, does it?
You'll be amazed what spawned from the games. There was a card game spin-off called Uncharted Fight for Fortune in 2012, a standalone game to the series Uncharted Lost Legacy, which is the first spin-off where, oh my god, that spin-off was so...
I love Lost Legacy.
It was
Good game.
fun playing. It was fun playing as Chloe because you get to learn more about her backstory,
Yep.
and then they actually factor in why she's got an Australian accent as well. And it was like, you couldn't have done better than that.
Yep.
I quite liked Lost Legacy after playing 4, especially expanding on Nadine, because I really did not like that character. Like, as in, you didn't like them as who they are.
It was an interesting kind of epilogue to the. I mean, it's entirely its own thing. Like you can play Lost Legacy with very little understanding of 4, and but it was an interesting epilogue to that game as well, kind of dealing with the fallout to the Shoreline organization in the aftermath of 4, and
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was an interesting side story. Like it really helped build on the world.
exactly. And amazingly, after that, as is to be expected, the series has been universally acclaimed and commercially successful. I mean, obviously, considering how many games spawned from it, having shipped more than 41 million units, making it one of the best-selling video game franchises of all time. Which,
God
let's be honest, it deserves it.
It does. It's
Yep.
basically every game is basically like however long the games are, our movie. It's pretty great.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Although-
absolutely.
Although to be fair, playing the first one again in 2020 or 2021, it doesn't really hold up anymore. The first one, at least.
In what way?
Yeah, it's a bit bumpy.
Just the gameplay is a bit clunky.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
The graphics
yeah.
are outdated, but still a great time. It's just
Yep.
I think
Yeah.
I was jaded by playing the fourth one first, so I was used to all the modern day comfort of today's games, and then I
Hmm.
played the first one. I was like, so this was what it was used to be like.
It's all blocky.
It's interesting, like the fact that you're able to play them in a kind of block, like rather than having to wait between each release for however many years or whatnot. It must have been interesting to be able to play them to back and see the kind of the development of video game.
Oh yeah, it was
history
great.
almost in a line. I always find
wa-
that to be.
It was
interesting.
pretty great. Although, to be fair, in my opinion, from 2 to 3 was a bit of a downgrade. I much prefer 2 over 3. But
So
that's just because I really, really, really like 2.
I don't think you're alone in that. A lot of people class 2 as their favourite. I obviously really liked 2 because I liked getting more backstory. But then 3 I just loved because it gave Sully more light. And Richard McGonagall's such a lovely man. And then to see this character that he plays get more love as well, it's like, you can't ask for anything better.
Yeah.
Exactly.
As much
So-
as I like Nathan Drake, Sully is my all-time favorite Uncharted character, and nothing will ever top him.
No, I was just gonna say it's 3's great because you kind of get to to get into the dynamic relationships between the characters. Mainly Sully and Nathan, but also Elena and Nathan as well. And the ability to kind of go back and explore their first meeting, and who they were kind of before each other, was very good, I think. Even if there was a brother that no one talks about.
Yeah,
He's
that's
totally
kind of a
been
plot
around
hole.
the whole time.
Trust us.
I mean,
Totally.
they did kind of explain why he never got talked about. So that's what happens when you introduce new characters. But hey ho, there you go.
No, I know. I'm giving it a hard time. I don't mean it. It's there is a line in 4 about how they spent time in and out of prison, so it makes sense that they met in an overlap.
Exactly. So, as moving on from that, we know the game sold amazingly, and obviously it's still popular today. What
There's
would
even a movie coming up.
yeah, the movie, that is something we can quickly talk about that. What are you guys expecting from the movie? Are you excited for it, or are you a bit
I want to be hopeful, but I'm very cynical when it comes to video game movies. So they don't exactly have a great track record, so I'm not expecting much, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I've
Yeah.
been hurt too many times before.
I don't want to
Yeah.
get my hopes up.
No.
But if
No,
it's
that's fair.
good, I will definitely. I'm hoping it's good, but I don't want to hope.
I suppose if it's good, absolutely great.
Yeah.
If it's good, fantastic. If it's not good, the games haven't gone anywhere.
That's true.
Exactly. That's true.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna treat it as a whole separate thing to the games.
Exactly. That you got to break down the barriers and just if it's good and a new audience finds the game, then wonderful. Like people will experience the things that we love.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
I was gonna ask. I have a question for y'all. What's your favorite characters in Uncharted?
Oof.
Oh
Oh.
man, wow.
Hmm.
I mean, besides the main cast, I actually quite liked Cutter. Just
Oh,
just 'cause
yeah.
of how he
Yeah.
acted.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was very
Yep.
fun.
He had some of the best lines.
Very true.
Yep.
It just kind of feels like they just gave Graham a script and just been like, just make up some stuff on the
Just
spot.
go do this.
Just have fun.
We're just happy you're here.
Good to
I
have
mean,
you. Go do this.
I mean, it's fun. You've got him where he was like Lazaravic at one point, and then you've got him as Cutter.
2 different people, essentially.
I prefer him as Cutter.
Almost 2 different people.
Both bald as well.
Yes, because that's the defining trait of a man.
So the defining
Yes.
trait of a villain is just that.
The
With his
hair.
chrome dome.
Can I?
Well,
That's
the risk
true.
of, the risk of just adding distracting a question with a question. Who's everyone's favorite Uncharted villain?
Rafe.
Rafe definitely, because of just he's a
It was
different
well
kind of
done.
villain.
It was a
Yeah.
really well done villain.
Like he's not a conventional villain. Like he's not like, oh, I've got this big army, I'm gonna go
Twirly
murder
mustache
everybody
villain.
to get.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, he's not that. He's just literally he's somebody that was like, I've been having everything given to me, but I want to earn something myself.
I like Rafe because he's very human, but if we're going for mustache twirly villain, I'm going with Lazaravic. Because
Yeah.
he's just so delightfully evil.
Oh yeah,
Mm.
you
Yeah.
just got that thick, somewhat Russian sounding voice.
Somewhat Eastern European sounding.
Yeah, like Drake, that kind of thing.
Vaguely Eastern European.
You'll
Vaguely.
not stop me.
Oh,
And I
God.
cannot do it.
That's pretty good.
That was pretty
That was
good.
pretty good.
Speaking of another tangent, have you ever heard of the story of, the Chloe and Drake love scene?
Oh
that
no!
happened
Oh,
in the
yes.
second game?
Yes.
Yes.
I have
We-
heard
we've-
of that.
For those who
Oh.
do not know, the developers basically had a fun time where they just swapped the model to Lazaravic over Chloe, and also got Graham to dub the same lines.
Oh God.
And then you've just got Lazaravic putting his finger on Drake's mouth saying, Flynn want to know a thing.
Night-
Sadly-
Nightmare fuel.
Oh god.
Sadly, there's no footage of the actual scene playing out because one, the scenes in Uncharted 2 are pre-rendered, so the video files. So somewhere at Naughty Dog, somebody's got that file on their computer or in a vault somewhere.
Deep
although-
in their vaults.
Although, fun fact is, in the actual game's files, the audio for it is still there.
So what you're
Oh,
saying
no.
is that we need to
Oh.
launch a campaign to release the Lazaravic cut.
Yes.
Yes, we
Yes.
can just like
Do I-
give
Start
a
the
petition.
Lazaravic.
Start a
What fans
petition.
deserve.
Someone contact.
Naughty Dog.
Just like call
Naughty
up your
Dog.
connections.
This will happen.
Release the Lazaravic cut.
That's it. That's what we need.
Oh god, but yeah, I think for somewhat of a normal villain, Rafe is good, but Lazarevich for being a proper kind of movie villain where he's like, I've got big army, I've got Eastern European accent, you know.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Just beautiful.
Perfect.
Someone should contact Graham and ask if we could get that cut.
I don't think he even has it, 'cause I think
Well,
you
but he
imagine
has
he's
the
just-
power to get it.
yeah, just like contact Graham McTavish being like, hey,
Can you give us this, please? I really want it.
I need to hear it.
Just want to give you a heads up, Graham. You may see a hashtag over the coming weeks.
Don't.
oh good god.
Oh no.
What are we unleashing?
We need this.
It is for
We
the greater
demand
good.
it.
Oh man. But yeah, saying that, I think the cast they got together overall is some of the most amazing cast. Because like, if I recall, I remember finding Nolan North when he was Desmond Miles in Assassin's Creed.
Yep, same. I think. Wait, was that my first?
Oh.
What was my first Nolan role?
Yeah, and
No, mine was
and then-
Uncharted.
and
Mine
then when I
was-
finally played Uncharted, I'm like, hey, this is the same person.
It's the same guy.
I think well, that was without knowing it, but the first time I heard Nolan North was when he was playing Richtofen in Call of Duty Zombies. Because
Oh
I-
yeah, the
I-
German
yeah.
accent.
I used to play that a lot with my brother, but that back then I didn't know it was Nolan, and now I just need him to whisper sweet nothings in my ear as Richtofen.
I mean, he's on Cameo. You could ask him
Yeah,
to.
you can always ask.
If I ever meet him at a con, I want him to scream at me in Richtofen's voice.
I mean,
you
if you
sure
ask
about
him if you ask him nicely, he'll do it. Cause
Exactly.
I'm asking him to record my voicemail.
I mean, he told me and the ever lovely Star a story about his eyebrows. So,
God.
Amazing.
oh, that story's just yeah. I
No-
will never forget that story and just his general attitude. He's a fun guy.
Nolan
Yes.
is the type of man I want to buy a beer.
Lots of beers.
Lots.
Nolan's the type of man I want to be when I'm 50.
Nolan's the type of man that would
Yeah.
let you buy him lots of beers.
That's also true.
More beers, more stories.
Oh yeah, just
Think of it that way.
sitting there in a beer.
Did I
Oh,
ever tell
man.
you about the time?
The time I jumped off an airplane that was in a game, I still did it.
I mocapped, it counts.
Mocap
Oh.
acting is acting.
It is.
But yeah, it's amazing what people can remember Nolan from. I mean, he was Dr. Engine in the original Crash Bandicoot.
He was Deadpool.
Absolutely.
I mean,
he was
everybody
actually
knows him as
Deadpool.
Deadpool.
I've
Yeah,
been
but I
playing
still
that
love
game
him as
today.
Deadpool.
Yes.
I've been replaying it as well. It's great.
It is. It's a good game.
It is.
It's my first time playing it through. It's one of those things that I've always known about, and I've known this really good, but I've never actually picked it up, and now it's not available digitally to purchase.
Yeah.
But I finally
Yeah,
bought a physical copy, and I'm like, we're doing this.
I had the luck. I was able to grab it while it was available on Steam, but now it's not anymore. But at least I have it.
Right. So, moving on from us gushing over actors and the Lazarevich cut.
What are we talking about again?
Hey, you've got a topic.
In other media that the games have spawned, we have got Uncharted Drake's Trial, which was a now defunct 2007 online game, which was browser-based. So browser-based games are one of those weird things where they can be good, but then they might not be. Then we had Uncharted the board game.
There's a board game?
Yeah, Uncharted the board game is a board game published by Bandai.
You can
Oh, is
Yeah.
that the one that you can find of Easter eggs in?
on the Last of Us.
Yep. I think you can find the second one as well, but yeah, it's that same game.
So is it like Jumanji?
No, you don't.
I'm not
You
gonna
don't
get sucked into it.
unleash. Like,
No, it
Man.
did traumatize my childhood.
I can't go in.
uh,
I can't go on adventures with Nathan. Oh man.
no, you can't. Only in
Sad.
your dreams. But yeah, that was apparently designed by Hayato Kisaragi, which I probably butchered the name because I butcher names all the time.
Names are hard.
Yes,
Very
they are.
hard.
And allows between 2 and 4 players to compete for treasure and fight enemies.
Treasure.
He's just throwing a card at somebody at that point, like. And
We should-
then
One of us should get our hands on that board game and play it together
yes,
This sounds
yes.
good.
at a con.
Throw cards at people.
Yeah.
Make sure.
But yeah, apparently, besides the comics I was reading, we've got on the comic side Uncharted Eye of Indra, which was Sony Computer Entertainment America release, the first of 4-part motion comics, so it's like a graphic novel. Adventure series called, obviously the name of it, in October the 23rd, 2009. And it's a prequel to Uncharted Drake's Fortune, like everything's a prequel to the first game. Yeah, and that's the thing. And then they actually made a comic which was Uncharted Drake's Fortune, which was a motion comic adaptation of the prologue of Uncharted Drake's Fortune.
What the
So
hell
it's
is the
Be
timeline?
more complicated.
What if that
Basically,
was a-
it
A moving comic.
basically it's a moving comic. Yeah, it's just literally about the prologue of the first game, so it's actually using what's already there.
I
Then there was
wonder if
obviously
that- Sorry, I
Go
wonder if
ahead.
that was a publicity tool to get people to buy the game. You know, you watch
Mhm.
the prologue, and then it's like, I want to see where this goes.
I mean,
Exactly.
probably it uses the same voice clips from the game, so.
Yep.
And then in 2011, the comic book series, which I read, released by DC Comics, around the time Uncharted 3 came out, was written by Joshua Williamson, with art by Sergio Sandoval, and covers by Adam Hughes. And that was released on November the 30th, 2011, as part of a 6-issue miniseries. In the story, a quest for the legendary Amber Room launches Nathan Drake on a journey to the center of the Earth. See, I was reading that comic and I'm like, that would have been such a good game as well.
Well,
But,
get to it, Naughty Dog.
but sadly, it's going to forever be a comic. And then obviously,
Now I want to read the
Obvious-
comic.
I will find a digital version for you to read because it's fantastic.
Thank you.
And then, obviously, as Ant mentioned, there was a novel called Uncharted: The Fourth Labyrinth, which was published in October 2011, and apparently it does not fit the characters well.
I did not care for it and did not finish it. It didn't feel Uncharted in any way.
I mean, most books are. I mean, there's a Metal Gear Solid 1 novel that does not fit the character whatsoever.
I also started that and did not finish.
Come on.
I guess Christmas came early.
I guess you
No.
just
December.
don't read books fully, and
I don't know how to read. The cover with the picture.
We did a good
Oh, no.
picture.
But since we talked about, obviously, the new film coming out, eventually starring Tom Holland, there was a fan film, which we've all seen, starring Nathan Fillion.
Nathan Fillion,
Yes.
my man.
Oh,
So good at.
Yes.
Like,
Who was,
that
um,
whole...
Who was?
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna ask, who was Sully in that? It was the guy from Avatar. The blue
Let
version.
me
Oh,
look it
I
up.
forgot his name. No.
Yeah, great actor.
Hang on.
I'm looking it up. I'm looking it up.
Stephen Lang.
That's it.
Stephen
That's
Lang.
it.
Yeah.
That was quick.
Yep. And honestly, when I saw that fan film, I'm like, is this gonna be a full thing? But no, it's literally just half an hour of fan service.
Not even half an
Uh,
hour. It's only 15 minutes long.
Wait, it's 15 minutes. I thought it was longer than that.
Yeah, that's because it's good. It feels longer.
It feels longer. Of course, take that out of context. Sorry.
Honestly, that whole movie was. I don't want to say it's gonna be better than the full thing, but it felt more
Uncharted.
personal. Like it
was-
felt Uncharted. Yeah.
It was very labor of love.
Yeah, you could feel the passion behind it.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So yeah, the fan film, if anybody hasn't watched that, please just do yourself a favour and watch it and enjoy Nathan Fillion just being Nathan Drake. It's a Nathan being a Nathan, you can't go wrong.
That's true.
Very
I
true.
never realized that. Wait, Nathan playing Nathan. Yeah, that's right.
Nathanception.
My favorite
Oh.
my favorite
jeez.
moment in that entire fan film is the over the shoulder shot where it just
Yeah.
turns into a shooter. Like it
Oh,
takes
Yeah.
on the visage of a shooter. Great. It's really great.
like I think they've got a behind the scenes video as well on how they did a lot of that.
Beautiful.
Beautiful, yes, yes.
So, here's a question.
Hmm.
Would you guys want an Uncharted 5?
Mm.
Considering
I
the
was-
ending of the fourth
Two
one.
answers
No.
there.
I
Two
was gonna
answers.
ask that, yeah.
Yeah.
I think Uncharted is one of those things where you don't want to over sully it. No pun
Leave
intended.
Sully
Yeah.
alone. We should have
But,
more
um,
Sully.
But if they're gonna do more Uncharted games, I'd rather them be about different characters. Like Uncharted Lost Legacy, for example, did well because it made hints towards Nathan Drake, and then obviously spoilers at this point. If then nobody's played it, don't listen. But you know, you end up having Sam Drake turn up, so there is a Drake of some kind there, and I think doing that would be good. If I had to think of an Uncharted 5, I'd like to just see younger Sully's exploits.
Yeah,
'Cause it-
prequel.
Yeah.
I was
what he
about to
got
say
up
that.
I would like more. I don't want an Uncharted 5, but I want more Uncharted, which is a cop out answer, but it's true. Because I feel like 4 has the perfect ending for that character. But if you were to port Golden Abyss to the PlayStation 4, I would play the hell out of it. You know what I mean? If you want to do a story with Nathan Drake set between games, I'd play the hell out of it.
Yeah, that I
exactly,
could see
yeah.
that. I
Yeah.
could see that. Or
Also-
maybe just a sequel to Lost Legacy. That would
Do
be
you-
great.
Do you want my favorite ever Uncharted idea that I'm really happy with and I will fight for it? Is
Copyright it now.
okay, Uncharted, following the exploits of Sir Francis Drake.
Yes.
Isn't
I
that what's
need
also
that.
known as history?
Yes, but you get to play it.
It's
I-
a prequel taken to the
yeah.
extreme.
I don't think I would want. I don't want anything that's that far back, because when I think of that kind of stuff, I just would play Assassin's Creed because that's sort of what it does. But trying to play that as an Uncharted thing, I don't know. I don't think it
But
would
can you
fit.
imagine that though? Like him trying to emulate like what Nathan does. The image just
You've
described in my head, which
Yeah,
would be amazing.
You've
Me-
literally got this man. Go ahead.
I was just that kind of like the train coming off the rails, but like medieval spectacle.
Oh no!
How would that work?
I have no
I don't
idea.
know.
Francis Drake launching himself in a catapult?
I'm imagining a big wooden ship wrecking itself on rocks, and you have to escape from it as it tears itself apart and dodging the rigging and that sort of
Why
thing.
is no one writing this down?
No, if
I
Naughty
have
Naughty
all
Dog,
of this written down.
Naughty Dog, if you are listening, hire this
My
man.
Hire
walls are just covered with this stuff.
Take that out of
Honestly, that would be a
context.
pretty cool idea, like Francis Drake Uncharted.
Yeah,
But then-
it
But
could
then
be,
you'd
yeah.
have to do the entire game without Francis Drake actually mapping anything, because otherwise it would be charted.
Oh.
Jesus.
He charts some stuff, and then Nathan Drake finds it, and he then writes in the diary.
Oh, good God, that joke.
I'm
Oof.
I'm sorry.
Oh.
No, we don't say sorry here.
No.
But no, moving on. Let's go back a bit. We've got Uncharted when it's first started doing multiplayer, which was Uncharted 2 on the PS3, and eventually Uncharted 3 got the multiplayer as well in free, and they kept that up for a good long while. I think it was like a couple of years ago they shut the servers down, and obviously when they ported the games to PS4, they didn't port the multiplayer. So unless you use like third-party programs to play the multiplayer again, you will not be able to play Uncharted 2 and 3 multiplayer, which is a shame because it was fun. But then we've got Uncharted 4 and Lost Legacy's multiplayer.
Lost Legacy has multiplayer?
Yes.
It's the same. It's the same multiplayer as
Oh.
Uncharted 4.
Alright.
It's getting all excited, didn't it? Oh.
Yeah, so honestly, what do you think when you think Uncharted and multiplayer? Is it something that you guys enjoy, or is it
I would
something that you took a while to warm up to?
certainly took me a while, but I would love I think Uncharted 3 did a bit of that. I would love like a full-fledged co-op Uncharted game. Like similar to Lost Legacy where one player plays Nadine and one player plays Chloe. I would like that.
Yeah, that could work, definitely.
Yeah.
I've never bought an Uncharted game for the multiplayer. That's not even something that goes into the factor of me buying. If I buy Uncharted, it's for the fantastic storytelling, the big spectacles and set pieces,
Pretty graphics.
and wonderful characters. But I won't lie that I've had some really fantastic multiplayer experiences on Uncharted 4. It's probably my favorite PlayStation 4 multiplayer game. Just because of it's just always a fun time. But that's not what I go into the game for, if that makes sense.
It does.
It makes sense, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say I like a good multiplayer, and you can tell that time was spent on that multiplayer. Because I mean, they even got Graham McTavish and Robert Atkins back to voice their villain characters and Tenzin.
So glad they did.
Yeah.
It's just weird seeing Lazaravic in HD. Like it looks bizarre.
Does anyone really want to see that though?
He looks Bizarrovich.
All of the fine lines and
He looks
wrinkles.
Lazaravic. Why am I in HD? This is not perfect.
All those fine lines and wrinkles just.
Oh yeah, all
Nah.
the scar popping, like you can see it in like 3D glory HD.
Not 3D. 3D would be scarring.
Scarring.
Oh yeah, it's like 5D at this point.
Oh
You
God,
can
no.
touch the scar.
You can reach out and touch it.
A forehead like a crevasse.
You can smell him.
Oh good God. There we go. There's the title. Smelling Lazaravic.
Oh
Well,
god.
I will be very disappointed if the title is anything but release the Lazaravic cut, but whatever.
You can just
Wait,
smell him
wait.
just coming off the thing.
We. Right. So yeah, I think as we come to a close, I think Uncharted 4 was probably the best ending they could have gave such an amazing character, and that final fight with him
Yes.
that final fight with him reading off all the exploits that he's done over the past three main
Also, everything
games.
just burns around him.
Yeah, you just
Yeah.
got
That's
got
my-
burning ship.
It's
That's my
perfect.
favorite cinematic moment in any game,
Mm.
probably, or one of at least.
And it's a great moment for both characters because you're summing up your time spent with Nathan Drake for Nathan Drake, and for Rafe you are listing the things that this other man has achieved that
Yeah.
make him small and insignificant by comparison.
Hmm.
I'm rich, you're not. Essentially.
Although it was kind of weird to have that like yelled at me, even though I hadn't played the other 3 games. I was like, "Yeah, I totally did that."
That's
Sure.
on you, man.
No, I actually remember finishing 2 and 3, finally finishing 3, then going on to 4, and I'm like, God, man. I feel
Difference.
old without being old, and you just get to that point of just like, yeah, I did all that.
I did this.
I destroyed all those priceless artifacts.
And I'll destroy
destro-
more.
I destroyed that city of gold because of some weird creatures.
Oh
I
god, not them.
destroyed
No.
Shambhala because of weird creatures. I destroyed the lost city of the Rubar Kali
Because
because
of weird
Weird
creatures.
creatures.
because it actually wasn't weird creatures
It
that time.
was-
It was because of the poison water.
Scarecrow fear gas.
Which
Scarecrow
manifested
fear
game.
in
Oh, yeah.
weird creatures.
Exactly.
I don't think there's a line that better sums up the entire series than when the Atlantis of the Sand begins collapsing and Sully's like, "This is why we can't have nice things."
That sums up the whole thing. Just this is why we can't have nice things.
But yeah, I think just the endings to each game was always fun. And
Yep.
4 ending with fights surrounded by fire with swords, and then having your list of your exploits read off while you've got that track that's playing bits of the Uncharted Nate's theme in it as well.
It's
And then
beautiful.
And then
Beautiful.
just swimming out of that cave as the ship explodes and collapses behind you and Sam as you just go into the light and then appear out at the cave. And then that prologue broke my heart.
Mm.
Because you just realise that's it. It's over.
Or is it?
It's over. Like
It is.
Ah.
It is over. It is, and it should,
Dashing hopes.
and it should be.
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise
It should
me
be,
if
though.
it wouldn't surprise me if we do get new Uncharted content as a result of the movie.
Yeah.
But do you remember? I'm going to show my age here again. But do you remember when the Prince of Persia movie came out and we got the
Oh, Jake Gyllenhaal.
and we got the Forgotten Sands?
Yeah.
And it's like this is totally canon. It takes place between the first and second game, and it just wasn't very good.
it was watchable.
It
There's
was
Jake
just like,
Gyllenhaal in it as well, and he's
oh no, I'm talking about
can't you
the
tell
ga-
us? Go with it.
I'm talking about the game. When the film came out, there was a game released at the same time that was set.
Oh
and,
yeah.
Oh.
and it was bland. It was bland. It was forgettable. I hope. I am so keen for more Uncharted content because I love that franchise so much. But if it's just there's a movie coming out, so we should probably do something. It's probably not worth having.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's something good that we can end off with there because honestly, the series is fantastic and it's one of those that you can revisit anytime. Similar to Tomb Raider, similar to Metal Gear Solid, you can come back to those anytime and it'll still feel like playing it the first time again.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, as we close the lid on this, I was gonna make a joke, but my brain just went went somewhere
It's like,
else.
nah.
I was gonna say close the lid on this coffin, but I'm like, it sounds like everything's dead. It's like, nah, that won't work.
There's not going to be a
But-
body.
You
there's
just
not gonna
said
be
it
a body
anyway.
in the coffin. There's going to be a journal of Sir Francis Drake that will set us on an adventure. That's
Yeah,
right.
let's-
I've tied
Yeah.
it back to the first game. I'm great at this.
Yeah.
Hold on.
As we close the lid on this box of memories,
Treasure box.
and this treasure box, yes.
You missed the chance.
I would like to thank all 3 of my guests for appearing, and also as a side note, Ant and Luke here are the first 2 male guests I've had on since. Let's be honest, I've got a lot of lady friends, and they're all amazing people. Everybody is, and saying that, if you would like to share any social media you have, we'll start with you, Ant. Is there anything you would like to share with the people?
I have nothing worth showing to anybody.
Okay, that's nonsense, and you know it.
Okay, I have a Twitter. I think it's the Ant-Man Cometh, where I do occasional game posters and that kind of thing. Most of my content is found under the Ant-Man Cometh, so you'll find me there.
All right, then we'll move on to our true Viking.
I live off the grid. I do not wish to be followed anywhere by anyone.
Like a true Viking.
I live in a cabin in
Shadow
the
the
woods.
night.
Don't follow my Twitter.
Right, you will not find Luke. He's like Janine,
He's a
doesn't do the
ghost.
socials.
I
He's a
do-
nomad.
I do the socials, but I don't do strangers. So there's that.
That's fair.
Phrasing.
You're freezing.
I make it a point to make my phrasing as the worst it can possibly be.
Hold on.
Right, and then we'll move on to the crazy Beth. Is there anything you would like to share or promote?
No.
Okay, so
No.
after this,
I
go
had to
follow
think
the
there.
After this, go follow the more posh British man. Prish.
And
Oh.
that's what I'm going to change my my media name to now. It's going to be Prish.
The Prish British man. Yes.
Right, since I've messed up, thank you guys for watching, and thanks to these three lovely humans for joining me.
Thank you. It was fun.
Thank you.
Thank you. I am human.
Right,
Bye.
we will catch you guys in the next episode. What game we'll talk about, we do not know, but until then, bye-bye!
Bye.